a spider pig. Spider pig, does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out, he is a spider pig. Spider pig, does whatever a spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out, he is a spider pig. Spider.
Welcome back, hot dogs. Y'all know we got another Super Saturday ready to go for y'all. Hopefully you got one rolled up for your wake and bake. Or if it's late wherever you is, you got another one ready to go. Because you know Popcorn got one for you. Like Uncle Ray say, I got one for you, baby. Shout out to big homie Uncle Ray. Y'all know to go check him out daily to see what he posting about. Be keeping it real over there. So check out Wake and Bake with Uncle Ray at your next convenience. But y'all already know we got some dope Dragon Ball Super videos.
The Saiyans were pretty weak. Vegeta, the strongest Saiyan working under Frieza, wasn't even the strongest member of Frieza's army. Or was he? People just look at Vegeta's power level of 18,000 and think he gets beaten by Frieza's mid-tier fighters like Zarbon and Dodoria, but with the Ozaru form, Vegeta has a power level of 180,000. That makes him stronger than Captain Ginyu, and by extension, the strongest member of Frieza's army. Saiyans were only getting stronger with each passing generation, so eventually, even an Ozaru Saiyan could be enough to challenge Frieza's throne. No wonder he wiped them out.
Thank you. You are the savior of the universe. I still don't have a clue what you're talking about. Who are you anyway, mister? Think of me as your kin, I suppose. Haha, no way. We don't look alike at all. Farewell. He flew, and when poof, was all of that a dream? What is up, guys? Blackscape here, and today we have some news on the future of the Dragon Ball Super manga because we have unearthed Toyotaro's artwork for Oob specifically. It is a side piece of artwork that gives us exactly what Toyotaro has in his mind for the future of the Dragon Ball Super arc with Oob in it and where we are headed after the Dragon Ball Super superhero arc, because right now things are kind of up in the air, but I believe with Toyotaro now firmly at the helm because of unfortunate recent events, I think that we are going to be getting Toyotaro's vision for the future, and I think his word is going to be the one that the Dragon Ball production team is going to heed the most. So this artwork is actually extremely important, but if you already know what artwork I'm talking about, let me know in the comment section below and watch the entire video till the end, and if you got it right, let me know if you did, and if you did not, well, better luck next time. And as always, huge shout out to my loyal fans. You guys are awesome, always here day in and day out with all the love, liking, commenting. All you new fans who are subscribing and hitting all notifications, I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys are the driving force behind this channel. Let's jump into it. In Dragon Ball Super Chapter 66, we get this moment right here. This moment is the moment where the Supreme Kai, the one that is trapped inside Buu, or is Buu at this point, he goes and gets his other half to give energy to the key ball that Vegeta's trying to put into Goku, no Diddy, and trying to get him to transform into Master Ultra Instinct, or at least pump him up. And so with Oob firmly there, you would think, okay, this is kind of a Hail Mary, like we don't really know exactly how much power Oob is actually going to give to this ball, but this is when we get this explanation. It's Oob. Oob had that power all along. Of course, the Great Lord of Lords' divine power must have gone to the evil half of Majin Buu during the split, which means that all that divine ki, which is different from God ki, divine ki is what Goku has in Ultra Instinct, all that divine ki that all the Supreme Kai has, the angels have, this went into evil Buu. That is why he was so powerful. And he didn't really know how to use it, but once he was reincarnated and he is good now in Oob, Oob has the divine key, and that is enough to do this. give an energy ball so huge, so tremendous to amp up Goku to the point where Goku actually unlocks a new ability and becomes Susanoo. And this Susanoo Goku is able to destroy Moro. So this is how powerful the divine key that Oob has is. And this is just a little taste as to how powerful Oob will eventually become. And not only that, Oob actually has the Supreme Kai as sort of a guardian on Earth if he ever needs them, because he's inside Boo. They are two halves of the same coin, and I could see them having a long relationship moving forward, which is something that the GT Oob really didn't have, which I think is a shame because these are the same character essentially. And so I'm glad that the manga, Toyotaro's manga, ended up giving them more focus that they are a unit. But not only that, Goku is aware, and Dende, of Oob, and they've been watching over Oob since he was young, since he was a little kid, much smaller than he was in the Moro arc. So they are also watching over him, and Goku is ready to take him away to go training 100%, which gives this next bit of information, this news, this new art that we got from Toyotaro that is not part of the manga. It's just one of his side pieces. This is really important because it's exactly the type of scenario that Toyotaro really wants. Toyotaro draws this: Oob and King Choppa. If you don't know who King Choppa is, he is one of the opponents that Goku had back in Dragon Ball during the World Martial Arts Tournament. They don't know each other. This isn't like these two characters know each other, and this is kind of like what he normally would look like. He normally, or at least in Dragon Ball, he looked very young. This is Toyotaro's interpretation of how he looks like when he's older. And it wasn't in Dragon Ball Z at the end, and he wasn't in Dragon Ball GT. This is just something that Toyotaro drew up because this is where his mind is at when it comes to Oob. This is where he places him. He thinks of Oob in this way, and this is what the translation says. The translation says, Choppa saying, "You certainly are gifted. How about entering the next Tenkaichi Budokai?" And Oob's like, "Huh? Me?" And Toyotaro says in his own description of the scene, "It's King Choppa, what I think he looks like now. Maybe King Choppa was the one who trained Oob until he turned 10. Their clothes look similar, so I kind of figured they came from the same region," which is not something far-fetched to think about because, I mean, there aren't that many regions that look like that, so it would make sense for them to be together. But this is Toyotaro already actively saying that this Dragon Ball character from Dragon Ball, early Dragon Ball, could be the master to Oob. But that's not even the most important part. The most important part is the Tenkaichi Budokai. This is Oob when he enters the Tenkaichi Budokai, and so this is Toyotaro saying that he got the idea from his master, King Choppa, who sees the strength, sees the power in Oob, and wants to put him in the tournament. And so with Dragon Ball Super Superhero ending, and having Pan be at such a high status at the end of the superhero arc, it would make sense for the next character in the Dragon Ball Next Generations, basically, for us to focus on. It would be Oob, and what better way to introduce Oob than to get us finally to the end of Z, which they've been holding off for a very long time, and I think it's now's the time to get to the end of Z and have there be the World Martial Arts Tournament and have Oob face off against either Goku or Pan. And I don't think that Goku should take Oob to train or whatever the case is. I think Oob should go willingly to maybe train with the Z fighters, all of them, or maybe train with Pan as well. I think that would be better than Goku just taking him. But at the end of the day, I think that this is really important because this is what Toyotaro has in his mind when it comes to Oob and which role he should play in the Dragon Ball Super manga. He is extremely powerful, has Divine Ki, is trained by a fighter from Dragon Ball that fought Goku, and should be going to the Tenkaichi Budokai next. He should be going to that tournament. Plus, it kind of links up perfectly if, say, like the hiatus is a couple months or so, and we get an entire arc that's in the World Martial Arts Tournament, the Budokai Tenkaichi, and we get Budokai Tenkaichi 4 essentially, or Sparking Zero at the same time. I think it would just be perfect timing for both. Now, what kind of powers does Oob have? Honestly, a lot of people, including myself in the past, would have wanted something like this, where, some of that evil Boo comes out and he can't control it, like almost like Naruto with Kurama. But if we really take what they say at face value, Oob is reincarnated good. He doesn't have any of that evil Boo inside of him. He just has the Divine Ki from the Supreme Kai. So honestly, Oob could just be the strongest human on the planet, basically. And I don't think he should have any transformations. I think he should just be extremely powerful and have different abilities that match up with that divine key. But let me know what you guys think he should have as power set or as transformations, or he should be just like GT. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. Talk to you guys later.
Subscribe for more content.
So, you are his girlfriend, huh? Let me tell you, living with a Saiyan is hard.
Well, yes, they are stubborn, and the only thing they care about is fighting. Bradley spends a lot of time with me. We enjoy hanging out. And he is super kind, and we talk about our feelings.
Oh, really? You hear that, Goku?
Does he? That's very interesting. What do you think, Vegeta?
Run! I told you not to bring him, Kakarot! I f***ing told you! I'm sorry. I'm hungry.
Vegeta, get back here!
Which parent are you? In the bustling city of Nutriville, a group of extraordinary individuals has emerged, known far and wide as the Superfood Parents. They are on a mission to transform their families' lives through the power of nutrition, one delicious bite at a time. Meet Chef Laquita Marie, the culinary mastermind behind the Superfood Parents playbook. With boundless enthusiasm, she welcomes you to embark on a thrilling journey to becoming a true superfood hero. But what exactly does that mean? In Nutriville, Superfood Parents are everyday heroes. These Superfood Parents lead the charge for better health, but not with capes. They lead with carrots, and whole food fats like avocados. And instead of masks, they lead with mangoes and berries. Fruits and vegetables are the disease-destroying arsenal of heroes. Are you a disease destroyer superhero for your loved ones? Fruits and veggies fuel the mission of heroes like Veggie Vixen. Are you a Veggie Vixen for your loved ones? Dedicated to ensuring their loved ones thrive on a diet rich in faves, fruits and vegetables. Here's your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to guide your family to superhero status by reaching the highest levels of health and wellness daily. Become a plant-powered titan, a superfood avenger, or even a face crusader by earning 5 points for every fruit or vegetable eaten. It's a fun-filled quest where nutrition meets excitement. All of the digital details are at superfoodparents.com for the full experience. Superfood Parents has also created workbooks, where you'll discover the tools you need for success. These workbooks give you the heroic strategies to craft your grocery list like a seasoned hero. Which means you now have a playbook to even track your weekly meals like a true champion. And engage in mind-bending nutritional education with word searches that will keep your family entertained and informed. So, are you ready to join the ranks of the Superfood Parents? Are you prepared to unleash the power of faith and make every meal a heroic endeavor? If so, flip the page of the Superfood Playbook and let's begin your journey to becoming the ultimate superfood hero.
To become a sponsor, just visit superfoodparents.com.
Vegeta, I don't understand. You've never allowed anyone to help you before in your life. Why start now? Why poverty?
Because I wanted him to reawaken the evil in my heart. I wanted him to return me to the way I was before. I was the perfect warrior, cold and ruthless. I lived by my strength alone, uninhibited by foolish emotion. What's the matter? Not winning as easily as you thought? I am a Saiyan of royal blood, the last of my kind. In my fingertips I hold the power to destroy entire worlds. I'll shatter through my limits, in my own way, on my own terms. It is time to take back what is mine.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes, and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Now, although I knew that there was still a glimmer of hope that lied within our hero's ability to go and find a way to turn things around in battle, if there was ever a better time for Universe 7's mightiest warriors to come together and annihilate Goku Black once and for all, then I'm proud to say that there is no other time that is greater than the one that they currently find themselves in right now.
Our story now continues following the initial events of Makayoshi and Goku Black shown having to battle against legendary Super Saiyan Karoli, all while Universe 10's Kaioshin Gowasu was helping aid in assisting the alternate future Zamasu, as with the alternate future Zamasu now shown having to complete his ritual and having to now be directly connected to Goku Black was when Gowasu then went on to respond. So now as it currently stands, you now Zamasu hereby carry the title as being Goku Black's official Supreme Kai, as your lifelines are now directly linked, and so whatever happens to you will as a result affect Goku Black in the process, Gowasu says. But I warn you now, as one of the circumstances that will not go on to affect Black will be taking one's life to see his opposite die, Gowasu continues. For the chain between a Destroyer God and a Kaioshin cannot be broken if one were to willingly act on such a thing, Gowasu says, for you will need to be destroyed by the hands of another in order for Black's life to also be impacted. Even if it means having Black take it upon himself to act on this decision, it will ultimately result in his life being snuffed away whether he knows of your connection to him or not. As once the Supreme Kai, who is directly tied to a god of destruction, is killed, then that god slowly dies with him, and so I hope that you understand, Zamasu. This is a one-way ticket, and sadly there is no coming back from it, with Angel Cuss having to then chime in. Oh, and for the record, the events of this day will be brought forth to the Grand Minister, so that way we are able to reverse the damage that was caused by Goku Black. However, if you are to somehow perish during this battle, then you cannot return if history were to remain unchanged, Cuss says. You do understand this, don't you, Zamasu? With Zamasu responding, yes, I understand. And so now I know what I must go and do, for I never wanted any of this to ever happen to begin with, and so therefore, I must be the one who changes it. With Kaioshin Gowasu having to then chime back in, if you wish to truly go through with this, then you must go and act upon this now while you still can, but understand that this action, whatever it may end up being, cannot be undone once you go and make them. With Zamasu having to then respond, I understand, and I don't expect anything less once I engage with him, and while I'm not sure if the Mortals fusion will hold out long enough without running through the time limit of the Protaras, it would be best for me to ensure their victory by joining them in this battle. However, I can only choose to do so in a way of having to aid them, where I take more of a defensive line of approach over an offensive one instead, since I wouldn't of course be strong enough to actually make a difference against Goku Black in my current condition, and so now that I know on what it is that I would have to go and do, I must hurry before it's too late for them down there, Zamasu says. To which even then, in the meantime, when then venturing back down below and seeing Ultra Ego Vegeta attempt to attack Makayoshi and Goku Black, with Goku Black being shown grabbing onto Vegeta's punch, was when Black then went on to respond, you know, if I would have known that you would have been this much of a hassle to deal with, then I would have went and made you my first victim the moment you came here, Vegeta. But I assure you that sooner rather than later, you will be the first to go, and I will personally see to it that you are, because you have no place in my world and you never will. And so while I leave you be for the time being as I go and engage against a greater challenger within the moment, Black continues, I just want you to know that so as long as I continue to exist within the same world as you do, understand that you will always and forever be known as being second fiddle when compared to me, Saiyan. And no amount of backing by your arrogant little mortal allies will save you from the punishment that you have coming, Vegeta. And so now stay out of my way, to which as Goku Black was then shown having to kick Vegeta away, Goku Black from that point immediately had gone as far as to redirect his attention back at Karoli, as Goku Black then went on to continue, and now back to you, Saiyan. For you are my primary target and I will not stop fighting you until you are destroyed. And so you can go and try whatever you think will work against me, Black adds, and I will just continue to go and prove to you on why nothing you do will be enough to put me down. But even then, despite with Goku Black attempting to attack Karoli, with Karoli being shown effortlessly moving out of the way, was when Karoli then went on to respond, you still don't seem to get it, do you? For the limits of your power while alone can only take you so far against us, while my power continues to be amplified tenfold. And this just means that while we're reserving ourselves to prevent us from separating, Karoli adds, even then while we continue to suppress ourselves, we are still far stronger than you could ever hope to become, Kaioshin. And so maybe you haven't noticed it by now, but sooner or later it'll come to you. But first I'm going to shatter your ego before I go forward with shattering your body, Black. So while your focus is beginning to stray away due to your frustration in having me get the better of you, Karoli continues, it'll only be a matter of time before you lose yourself completely, to which as Goku Black was once again shown attacking, it was still despite the fact that with Goku Black attempting to shatter through Karoli's defense, with Karoli being shown unfazed by this, was when Goku Black then went on to continue, silence, you ego-driven little animal. I've studied you mortals enough to know exactly what it is that I would need to go and do, and I'll make sure that I see to it that I do. Oh, I'm getting utterly sick to my stomach of having to put up with this bastard already, Vegeta went on to try to maintain balance by responding. The nerve of that coward to go and say all of that in which he said when he's the one who's at a disadvantage here. But then, it was from out of nowhere with Beast Gohan jumping in and having to stop Vegeta from having to fly out any further, was when Gohan then went on to respond, don't worry, I got you, Vegeta. You aren't alone in this, and so I'm not going to have you do this all alone. And so I want you to just know that I'll be right here with you along the way, so we need to see to it that we end this, and we end this now, with Vegeta responding, oh, enough is enough already. I have a plan, but in order for it to work, we'll need to go and find a way to hit that bastard with everything that we have, all at the same time, without him having to slow any of our attacks down in the process, with Beast Gohan questioning, but will we have enough time to go and make that happen without him having to catch on to what we're doing is the question. And so what's the plan, Gohan says? We'll need to try and see if Karoli's fusion can keep that bastard distracted long enough for all of us to combine our strongest attacks into one, so that way we can just go and blow that scum out of orbit and out of this world forever. And so while they continue to battle out there, we'll need to watch and wait for the best possible opening that Karoli can create, and that's when we'll go and make our move, to which as Goku Black was still shown attacking Karoli, from the looks of their overall fight, it didn't seem as though Goku Black was able to pierce through Karoli's defenses, as Goku Black then went on to continue, why, you rotten Saiyan, why aren't my attacks able to pierce through your defenses like this? How are you so sturdy and able to take so much punishment without losing a shred of power throughout the course of this fight? As your defenses shouldn't be this strong to be able to hold out against such attacks for as long as you have by now, and so what are you hiding from me? What is there to possibly hide, Karoli responds, when all you're looking at is the truth behind what we've been trying to tell you all along, Black. Just because you were able to steal and morph Son Goku's body in ways that go against who he naturally is by nature doesn't automatically mean that you are fully able to understand and use the true power of a Saiyan's potential just because you were able to study our methods of how to use it, Karoli continues. As such was the case back then, and such is the case here and now, Kaioshin, with Goku Black quickly responding, "That's not possible because I am far stronger now than I ever could have dreamed of being before, and so I'm calling your bluff," with Karoli responding, "Oh really? So is that what you think this is? A bluff, huh? Well then tell me then. Does any of this look like I'm bluffing to you? Because you'd be rather foolish to think that it was, Kaioshin. Oh, we'll see who the true fool here between us really is," Saiyan Black went on to then quickly respond. "And as a matter of fact, since you think that you're so much stronger than me, then let's just see on how you are able to handle several versions of me all while I go and ready your grave, mortal. And so now go, my minions," Goku Black went on to then quickly spawn 2 Super Saiyan Rose 3s by using his time ring. "Go and hold that fusion at bay while I prepare to end his existence once and for all, as I know of just the way on how to end him too. Yes, and so now let's just see how much power you can go and exert now while you're being backed into a corner." "I see, and so this was your plan, huh?" Karoli responds. "You can send hundreds of them after us and it still won't change the outcome of this fight," which, as Goku Black was then shown charging up for a dark Kamehameha, it only had become fairly evident now that Kaioshin Goku Black was confident in his abilities of using his attacks to cripple the fusion, as Goku Black then went on to respond, "Yeah, well, maybe you're right, Saiyan. Maybe they're only meant to be here to simply throw you off your game while I stall for time. But either way, I highly doubt that you'll be able to take much more of these before your fusion starts to feel the effects of my overwhelming power to which I bear. And so now let's just see how sturdy that body of yours really is, and then we'll see which one of us can talk the talk by also walking the walk as well. Well, sending lower level fighters to try and stop us wasn't your brightest idea, even if you were trying to distract us," Karoli went on to then punch one of the Goku Blacks away by responding. "And yet all you did was go and do exactly as I wanted for you to go and do," Black went on to respond, "which is why you are about to find out on exactly what it was that I meant. And now that I have you locked within my line of fire, let's just see on how far you are willing to push yourself if you hope to survive, Saiyan." To which seconds later, it was only within that moment as Karoli was shown throwing the secondary Goku Blacks within the line of fire as Goku Black's attack was making its way towards Karoli, was when Karoli went on to then continue, "Well, if that's how you want to go and play this little game of yours, then why don't you go and take this one here back to where he belongs then? Now come on and show me on what you can do, Kaioshin." "Oh, persistent bastard. Now I see he's trying to get me to explode and use every bit of power that I have so that way we can burn right through the Potaras," Karoli continues. "But even while he tries, we're not going to let that happen no matter what he tries to throw at us. And so I've got to try and pick my spots carefully and catch him when he isn't looking. Yes, maybe now you can see that no matter how tough you assume for your fusion to be," Black responds upon a giant explosion now being seen, "you and I both know that you can't go and take much more of that after this, and so it's only going to be a matter of time before you break apart like the worms that you are. And so go ahead and call my bluff and say that I'm lying here," Black continues, "because a few more attacks of that magnitude and your fusion is finished, mortals. And so now what's it going to be then? Think you can handle another?" But then it was only just upon with one of the Goku Blacks all of a sudden now being shown getting Hakkai'd was when Vegeta went on to then intervene. "Now I'm not sure if you went and hit your head a little harder than you expected, but you seem to be forgetting one very important thing here, Kaioshin. And that is, so as long as you're still around, then we're still going to be around as well. And that means you aren't going to get rid of us anytime soon either. For once this is all said and done, you aren't going to win, and so you can stop pretending pretending like you will because you're running on borrowed time here, with Black responding, but of course, here come the dogs again, ready to be beaten and knowing their place once again. How typical of you fools to still continue to defy me. Well, alright then, here's the ugly truth that you should all already be well aware of. Black went on to then fire an energy blast towards Vegeta and Gohan, which is that your fate hangs in the balance of my hands now, Saiyans. But surprisingly enough then, from out of nowhere, it was just before the blast was able to initially make contact and slamming its way into Vegeta and Gohan, was where from out of nowhere, that was when the future Zamasu was from there shown getting in the way and having to take the hit head on, as Zamasu then went on to shout, "No, you are not the one who will decide who lives and who dies, imposter." Whoa, hey, what are you doing? Gohan went on to then quickly ask upon Zamasu being shown getting dropped down. You didn't have to go and stand in the way of that attack just now, Zamasu. Are you alright? Well, back for more now, are you? Oh, don't you worry, Kai. I haven't forgotten about you one bit, as you were foolish to have stood in the way of that, only to go and wait a second. There appears to be something different about him this time, Black went on to then quickly notice. Something about his life energy feels off, especially when compared to before, so did I miss something here? As his life force feels intertwined with mine somehow, almost as though I can sense a part of my essence somehow merged with his own. And so I'm certain that he must have went and did something when I wasn't looking that caused this. You didn't think that I would simply roll over and die without having anything to say about it, now did you? Zamasu went on to then turn his head by questioning, because I already told you before, I will not perish unless I am able to take a large part of you with me. And you can rest assured that very soon I will be doing just that, with Goku Black responding, "Is that so, Zamasu? Well then tell me then, because I know that you're up to something, and you might as well just go and give it up, because of all of those who stand across from me, you are by far the weakest and easiest of targets here," with Zamasu responding, "You may be right, but it's not power that I wield that'll finally put an end to you, but rather something far more complex than you could ever possibly understand. And so by all means, if you think that I am somehow bluffing, then I welcome you to come and call it," with Black responding, "You idiot, Kai. You think that this is some kind of a joke to you? For you are risking far more than you can ever hope to possibly get back after I'm finished dealing with all of you here on this world. But if you truly want for me to go and call your bluff then, and put your actions into question, then so be it. But just remember that each of you had this coming. So, how about this for starters then, eh, Zamasu?" Black went on to then aim his arm down by responding, "Yes, let's go and begin to call your bluff by obliterating this entire solar system, along with everyone and everything on it, and then we'll go and see on if you were lying or not," with Gowasu quickly having to then chime in, "Wait, he's going to do what now? And with the time rings that he wields, he's likely going to try and make an escape the moment he goes and destroys the entire system. Well, it's not like I wouldn't have went and destroyed this entire system with or without you all here anyways," Black continues. "So, since you all love to stand as one together, then you can all go and die as one together too. And so what now? Do you think that you have what it takes to come and stop me?" with Beast Gohan responding, "Oh, Vegeta, we can't let him go through with this because he's actually crazy enough to go and try. Oh, damn you. Why don't you just come and fight us first, since we're the ones that you're truly after here, and leave the rest of the universe out of this, Kaioshin?" "Oh, you are in no position to be telling me what to do, mortal, for I do what I want with or without your approval." But then, it was suddenly now from out of nowhere, before Goku Black could act on his intentions, was where where from out of nowhere, that was where Karoli was from that point then shown smashing his way in by punching Goku Black in the face by then shouting, "Oh no you don't, you coward! Not if I have anything to say about it, you aren't, Kaioshin! We aren't done! And just so you know that so as long as I'm here to challenge you, then until you can manage to get through me, you aren't destroying anything! Oh, curse this fusion! How does he continue to fight despite taking tremendous amounts of punishment like this? He's going to go and ruin everything if I don't end him! And so no matter what it takes, I will see to it that you are dead! Do you hear me saying dead? As you will all rule the day where I lose to you again! But upon Goku Black then shown firing his blast at Karoli, was where from out of nowhere, that was where Zamasu was once again shown getting in between Karoli and Goku Black's attack yet again, as Karoli went on to then shout, "What the hey, what are you doing? Hurry and get out of the way, Zamasu!" "No, whatever happens to me doesn't matter," Zamasu responds, "because what matters most is that you remain intact because you are the only ones left who can stop him." To which moments later, with the gigantic explosion now seen as Karoli went on to then shield himself, was when Karoli then went on to continue, "Oh, and just what in the world is he thinking by just stepping in front of us like that? Especially in knowing that any one of Goku Black's attacks could be what destroys him, as I know that he's probably up to something, and so maybe it's to help us buy some more time. Oh well, whatever it might be isn't something that I can just go and stand around and wait on," Karoli continues, "and so I have to move in now and continue to put the pressure on him before it's too late, as there's no telling on how much time we have left to still continue to fight him, and so I've got to go now. Stand down, Zamasu," Karoli went on to shout by dashing towards Black. "He's mine from now on, and so don't be foolish to go and put yourself in danger like that again," as Vegeta then went on to address Gohan. "Oh, listen to me, we're running out of time here, and while Karoli is able to hold that Kaioshin in his place, we'll need to go and combine our power right now. And so while you're still able to wield your power," Vegeta continues, "go and channel it all into one singular attack, and we'll go and strike that bastard together at the same time, the very moment we see that Karoli has created an opening for us to go and do it. And so now hurry, Gohan!" "Right, then let this be how we finally shut him down, and for good this time," Gohan proceeded to then channel his attack, as Goku Black went on to land back down by then responding, "Oh, it's no use. I'm getting nowhere with all of them attacking me like this, and I've already taken far too much damage while fighting them all, and I have to think of a way out while I still can. But how? For this is all Goasu's fault along with that Angel's. Oh, you are both the ones who are mainly responsible for all of this that is happening to me," Black went on to then look up by then shouting, "because if it were not for your interference in having to help aid them, then my mission would have already had been completed. And so this is all your fault, you wretched gods, for I'll go and slaughter you both." But then, it was only just before Goku Black was able to reach Gowasu and Angel Cuss, was where from out of nowhere, that was when Orange Piccolo was shown extending his arms and grabbing onto Black's legs by then responding, "Oh no, I don't think so. You aren't going anywhere without first having to go and finish your fight with us first, Black." "What the hell? It's you again. Why, you dirty, rotten, no good Namekian, how dare you try and bind me? No more. I am done having to put up with such nonsense, and so now disappear forever. Cut." But then, it was only fortunately enough before Goku Black had the chance to Hakai Piccolo was when Karoli was shown having to then grab onto Goku Black's arm by then responding, "I knew that you would go and try that at some point, but over my dead body you won't, Kaioshin. And so now I'm angry, and you are about to feel my wrath for attempting to go and try and erase him," Karoli responds, "as now that I can see that you're starting to get extremely desperate, I'm not letting up until I break you in half. I'm almost there, just a little more, and it should be ready. And so now, are you sure that it'll be enough for it to work?" Gohan questions, with Vegeta responding, "Well, unless you hold even a slight bit of power back, then it has to work," as Piccolo then went on to reappear by joining our heroes and then responding, "Don't think that the two of you are going to be doing this alone either, because this is my fight too, and I'm ready to end this." "All right, thank you, Piccolo," Gohan responds. "Now hurry, we don't have a lot of time left, and So now hurry and charge up for your special beam cannon, and let's wait until we found an opening for us to go and unleash our attacks at the same time. To which even then elsewhere, as Zamasu was shown on the ground shaking but yet still alive following Goku Black's attack, was when Zamasu went on to then utter, I must jump in and do what I must to ensure that nothing goes wrong while we find a way to beat him. I have to still continue to try. In which all the while with Karoli shown grabbing onto Goku Black's leg and repeatedly being shown slamming Goku's body down onto the ground over and over again, was when Karoli then went on to continue, how could you possibly still claim to be the most dangerous force who currently stands upon the battlefield when you are already looking at a force that is far more powerful than you can ever even dream of becoming, Kaioshin? And yet somehow you still continue to defy our power despite already proving to be a fallen god whom we've already had beaten before. And while your destiny was already written the day we erased you the first time, Karoli went on to then throw Goku Black out into the distance, it's time that we go and remind you once again on why you will always be destined to fail. And while you continue to talk about wielding a power that is worthy of being called a true god, then why don't I go and show you what true power worthy of a god feels like, Zamasu? You stubborn creatures truly don't understand, Goku Black went on to then slowly stand back up by responding, for it doesn't matter on how many times you continue to chase me, you could never slay what you simply can't possibly understand. And while I vow to continue this battle of ours until I have seen it through until the absolute end, it won't be me who will fall in the end, Black went on to then spawn his energy saber, but instead, I plan to carry out with my Zero Mortals plan until every last one of you from all corners of the multiverse are purged and erased from my utopia forever. And so whether I fight one of you or I go and fight all of you, none of you whom I engage with will survive, as I'll go on to make sure that you never speak to me with such disrespect even in the afterlife ever again, mortals! For I am the one who stands above all with no challenger to contest me, Black went on to then rush towards Karoli, for you will now come to understand that for yourselves because you won't be fast enough to gather enough energy to fire at me on time, mortals! And so now to hell with both you and your ridiculous fusion, Saiyans, now die! But then, it was only from out of nowhere, shockingly enough, with the alternate future Zamasu getting in between Karoli and Goku Black and from there having to be stabbed directly through the chest, was when Zamasu then went on to quickly respond, no, not on my watch, imposter. I don't think so. Not if I have something to say about your actions, you won't. You what? What are you doing, you fool? What have you done? Why did you decide to go and stand to protect this creature when you know that this isn't the way, Zamasu? Have you lost your mind or what? Black went on to then continue, because all you've managed to do here was go and dig your own grave, Kaioshin, with Zamasu responding, oh, is that what you think that I went and did, Black? Because the only one here between us who was shown digging their own grave here is you. But maybe you're right. Maybe I have truly lost my mind, or maybe, just maybe, you're the one who doesn't seem to understand, false destroyer. You, the one who wears the face of Goku, Zamasu continues, have become an emblem of devastation, for my regret is profound as the folly of our joined destinies, as by your hand we are now doomed, a single entity bound for destruction, and though I sought redemption, it seems we shall both be dragged into the abyss, for it was a fate which you had carved out for yourself with the very power that you so desperately desired, fallen Kaioshin. You did this, and upon accepting my fate, Zamasu went on to smile by continuing, I also had accepted yours on your behalf as well, and the best part about it was that you didn't even see me coming with it, Zamasu continues upon from there being shown grabbing onto Goku Black's shirt. Can't you see? This is what you wanted, wasn't wasn't it? This was what you wanted for me to go and accept, didn't you? Well, guess what, Zamasu adds? I did. And since I did, you and I are now directly connected as one, Zamasu. You wanted for me to be your overlooking Supreme Kai to your false God of Destruction title, right? Well, you got it. But be careful on what you wish for, because it just might come back to haunt you, scum. For you had went and brought this onto yourself. As an enraged and shocked Goku Black went on to then respond, You knew all along. So that was what you've been waiting for. You've completely lost your mind, you foolish little worm. What have you done, you coward? What's happening? Why is my body starting to change and shake like this? How could you be willing to throw your life away like this when you could have been so much more than what you are now? With Zamasu responding, well, it's simple, because I would much rather perish by knowing exactly who I was and what it was that I stood for while alive than go and live blindly by my ego and losing myself in the process of trying to become something that I was never destined to become, Kai. And since this was what you wanted, and since this was the path that you decided that you wanted to walk down, Zamasu went on to continue upon, now being shown having to fade away, then how poetic is it that you have finally reached the very end of your road, fallen god. To which upon Goku Black now being shown clinging onto his chest and slowly backing up as Zamasu had faded into the wind, was when Goku Black then went on to respond, Wait, no, curse you, Zamasu. You knew that by destroying yourself after linking yourself to me would it only go and harm me in the process, you scum. No, how could I have missed this prior to me coming here? But it already looked as though it was too late, because with Karoli now being shown charging up for a massive Kamehameha was when Karoli then went on to respond, Mark my words when I say this, for this will be the last time that you will ever show your face around here ever again, Zamasu. And we're going to personally go and make sure of it too, with Goku Black having to then say to himself, but of course, this was what they've been waiting for the whole time. They're looking to combine their attacks into one, especially now since I'm at my weakest point. I can't allow for them to go through with this, I just can't. For I have to find some means of an escape immediately. As Piccolo then went on to quickly chime in, now everyone, focus all of your power into making sure that no matter how hard he tries to fight it, that we go and wipe him out by hitting him with everything that we have and by doing it as one. But even then, with Goku Black then shown having to quickly try to escape by flying through the orbit and having to dash up towards the sky, was when Goku Black then went on to continue, no, I can't have this moment be ripped away from me after all that I've done to ensure my place in the multiverse. Yes, now this is it. Now everyone together, Piccolo shouts, fire! Yes, this is it. Your nightmare ends here and now with us, Kaioshin. Karoli went on to then fire his attack up by then responding, I don't think I'll be able to escape it. Oh, damn them all. My options are limited, and so I have no other choice. For I must engage no matter the price that I will have to go and pay. No more will I stand here and watch as you mortals continue to spit in the face of true justice. As you will never best me, for it is you who will perish while I will continue to live on forever. Black went on to then power up by shouting, and so whether you band together and fight me as one or alone, my will to rule will never be destroyed. As I will not have you mortals try and hunt me down if I don't have something to say about it, because you won't be given the honors to go and do unto me as you did before. For I am Goku Black, the final and true living god to ever grace the plains of the multiverse. Black went on to reach his arms out by attempting to stop this blast, but then it was only during this act itself, with Goku Black now having to come to realize that there was nothing within his ability that he could have done in order to do anything of the sorts in pushing this blast away, was when Black then went on to continue, oh no, you mortals will not be getting the best last of me again, for I vow to seek out my revenge until the very end, even if it was the last thing that I did, and so I will not, and I will never allow for you all to go and get in my way ever again. Oh, what's happening to me? Why is my power feeling as though it's starting to... Oh, no! My body can't sustain that power anymore. I'm fading, and I'm fading fast because I can't seem to be able to control myself anymore.
To which little by little, with Goku being shown dropping out of his Makaiyoshin form back down to Super Saiyan Rose 3 and then later back to Super Saiyan Rose, Goku Black had now come to the unfortunate realization that there was nothing within his ability that he could have been able to do to stop this, as Goku Black then went on to continue,
I can't push this thing back anymore, and my power continues to drop with every passing second, for this is just too strong for me to go and stop all on my own. I can't hold this back anymore. My power has completely vanished, and I can't escape their combined attack either. No! I can't let them win!
As Angel Cuss then went on to respond, well now, it would appear as though after directly severing his Kaioshin lifeline connection by having to destroy the future Zamasu counterparts, Goku Black is now beginning to feel the painful effects of his breakaway, as he's now fallen out of his previous levels and is right back down to his base level as a result of him dying, with Kawasu then having to shout,
yes, then this is their chance! Yes! Hurry! He's fallen out of grace, everyone! And if there was ever a moment where you can go and lay claim to victory against him, then this is your one and only chance to go and put an end to this nightmare for good, as he has nothing left.
As this had now proven to be it, because with Ultra Ego Vegeta, Orange Piccolo, Beast Gohan, and Legendary Super Saiyan Broly all shown now having to collectively gather their energy together, this had only now proven to be the one and only opportunity they had in order to take down Goku Black for good, as Vegeta then went on to shout,
this is our chance! And so now let's end this for good!
With Beast Gohan also shouting,
yes, this is for every life form that you've ripped away! It's now or never, everyone!
Piccolo shouts,
together now! Full power!
Broly shouts, to which it was only upon all of them now shown having to overtake Goku Black completely and having their blast completely go right through him was when Goku Black then went on to reminisce by responding,
oh, this can't be! How could this have all come to an end after everything that I've devoted in making sure that this wouldn't happen? How could I, cloaked in the power of a true god, go and fall prey to their collective efforts against me, including having to be so blinded as to not see them resorting to using fusion again? All of my efforts, everything that I've devoted, all of it destroyed. And had I acted with the cold and ruthless approach that I originally had fought with, then none of this would have happened. But instead, I allowed for my thrill of the fight to dictate my actions instead. And so now I understand on what that was. And it was because for the very first time, Black continues, I finally realized what it felt like to fight like a Saiyan after transforming. For in my Makaiyoshin form, something came over me where instead of wanting to obliterate them, I chose to instead want to continue to fight them. And my urge to want to punish them by using such a power was what inevitably led to my downfall, as well as having my very own counterpart go and turn his back on me by giving his own life in order to ensure that mine ends. For never would I ever have imagined, not in countless cycles of time, that my alternate counterparts would become the architect of my ultimate destruction. As how could I have went and turned against myself like this? For it's almost like Gowasu's words continue to echo within the chaos, and reminding me of the path that I had turned my back against for the sake of following this one. For I had become my own greatest enemy, Black went on to then finally conclude. Curse you, damn you, Zamasu, damn you, feeble gods, and you wretched mortals! For my will along with my vision will continue to carry through and live on forever, mortals! As this was now finally it, because with our heroes now beginning to settle on down and catching their breath by maintaining their composure, they have all now finally come to the ultimate realization that the nightmare that was of Goku Black was now finally over, as Angel Cuss went on to chime back in. Well, would you go and look at that, Lord Gowasu? For it would seem as though it all paid off in our favor after all, because with Goku Black's energy signature and life energy now completely gone, we can finally now say that the terror of your once loving Supreme Kai training has finally been destroyed. And dare I even say, what an amazing display of unity and teamwork as well, with Karoli being shown staring back up in the sky by then responding, "Cowardly Kaioshin, you're lucky that the limits of the Potaras bind us from using our true power, but let this be a lesson that you will never forget. And so now do us all a favor, why don't you, and stay dead this time." To which, as our heroes were now beginning to drop down from exhaustion, this had only now gone as far as to show how much our heroes were willing to give in order to see to it that Goku Black was destroyed, as Gohan went on to then chime in, "Oh, thank goodness that this is finally over. Oh man, my body feels as though it's made out of jello. Hey, are you guys okay?" Yeah, barely, Piccolo went on to then collapse on down, "but I couldn't be any happier to know that all of this is finally behind us and that Black is now gone and gone for good. And so how are you holding up, Vegeta?" With Vegeta having to respond, "Oh, shut your face. I'm fine. Just give me a minute here." As it was only with both Goku and Broly now also shown having to separate and expiring by burning right through their fusion time was when Cuss went on to then chime back in. And from the looks of it down there, it would seem as though the Saiyans had expired all of the power that they had remaining just in the nick of time to push through and separate their fusion at the right time. And so all in all, it looks like everything did in fact end up turning out for the better after all now, didn't it? And with that monster gone, I am glad that you are now safe, Lord Gowasu, with Gowasu having to exhale by then responding, oh well, thank goodness that this madness is finally over. Oh, and how I wish that things were different, Gowasu continues, and didn't have to turn out the way they did, but we won because of you, Zamasu. But I only wish that our victory didn't come at the expense of having you lose your life over stopping something that was outside of your control. But then, it was only just upon with Gowasu having to reflect back on the alternate Zamasu that went as far as to give his life to ensure that Goku Black was destroyed, was where from out of nowhere, that was when both Whis and Beerus had then suddenly appeared and having to question the overall situation, with Beerus having to respond, "Now do either of you mind telling me on what all of that noise was just now and all of this chaos that I see down below? You didn't happen to bring trouble into my universe now, did you, Kai?" With Gowasu responding, "Esteemed God of Destruction, Lord Beerus, I humbly do apologize if any of this disturbed you, for you see, we had a bit of a problem on our hands here, and well, with Goku Black being revived from out of nowhere, he, well, decided to want to come back into Universe 7, with Beerus responding, "Goku Black, you say? The Kaioshin who went and had stolen that idiot Saiyan's body down there, am I right? So then he was more than likely out for revenge then, I see. And so how was he brought back to life, and more importantly, is where is that Kaioshin now?" With Gowasu responding, "Well, you see, he's been destroyed now, but, well, in order to go and fix this overall situation, we will need to go and speak with the Grand Minister in order for us to have all of the events that were caused by Goku Black to go back to normal. well, and especially after destroying Ramush and becoming a temporary placement holder for a god of destruction, with Beerus shouting, "Wait a minute, you're off to go and speak with the Grand Priest about this? And Goku Black was somehow able to become a temporary placement holder and granted the title of a destroyer? And where was I throughout all of this? Now hold on," with Angel, Cuss, and Whis being shown having to wave their staffs by then responding, "Well, it's better to be safe than sorry, especially if Lord Zeno were to somehow catch wind of all of this, so I think it's best for us to go and make haste now and right the wrongs of all of the things that Goku Black was responsible for," with Whis responding, "And I, of course, second that, and so what do you say we go and patch things up around here first before we all go and speak with the Grand Minister then, shall we? And so now don't move, for this will only take just a second," Whis says, in which even then a little later on, as some time had began to pass, when then venturing back on over within Universe 10, we only from that point then take a look and seeing as to how Gowasu was sitting at his table alone and reminiscing of the events that were shown happening, as Gowasu went on to say to himself, "Well, although none of us could have seen what we saw coming, especially after seeing Black return from out of nowhere when he did, now that he is finally gone and gone for good, and I'm happy to know that things are finally back to the way they should be after Cuss had went and spoke with the Grand Minister about the overall situation that was shown having to take place between our universes, and with Lord Ramush revived and brought back into his original position of power courtesy of the Grand Minister bringing him back," he adds, "I'm finally glad that this is all over, and to the credit of Universe 7's mortals, who are by and large quite possibly some of the strongest group of fighters throughout the entire multiverse," Gowasu adds, "and I couldn't have been more proud to also know that Zamasu had went and helped them. And although the Zamasu that we were dealing with was already too far gone," Gowasu continues, "to know that things could have been the way that they were intended and to see you change your ways even if you weren't the real Zamasu of this reality, truly went and had opened my eyes to the truth of a great many things, and I thank you for everything, Zamasu." To which even then, when venturing back on over within Universe 7 and now seeing Broly, Goku, and Vegeta being shown eating on Beerus' planet, was when Goku then went on to chime in, "Say Vegeta, did you ever think that Black would ever come back the way he did and showcase a new power like the one that he went and used against us when he did? Because if it were not for those Potaras and with Broly being at the right place during the right time, then, well, without our fusion, there's no telling on what would have happened if we didn't go and fuse," with Vegeta responding, "Well, none of us expected to see that bastard's face in this universe anymore for starters, Kakarot. And for the record, even if you didn't go and fuse with Broly when you did, and I'm sure that we still would have found a way to destroy that monster one way or another, and so don't get ahead of yourself here, Kakarot. For your fusion was impressive, but you were holding tremendous amounts of power back for the sake of not breaking the fusion." Well, you're right on that part of having us hold our absolute full and untapped power back against him, since I do believe that we'd have to go and try to find stronger Potaras for that to be the case next time, but I really don't think that we would have been able to beat Goku Black if it wasn't for our fusion stepping in, you know? "And what are you trying to say here?" Vegeta questions, "because you do know that our fusion would have gotten the job done if Black didn't swoop in and knock us both in different directions, don't you?" "Well, all I'm saying is that I found myself fusing with Broly here to be far less of a problem and way easier in our body and power than it would be having to fuse with you, Vegeta. And well, that's probably mainly due to the history that we have with one another, but I don't know, because I think our fusion by having to use the Potaras is far stronger than having you and I fuse into Vegito, don't you think?" With Vegeta questioning, "Hold on there, what did you just say? You're kidding, right? And just what makes you so sure that your fusion with Broly is better suited than your fusion with me, Kakarot?" Well, for one, we weren't conflicted with one another, nor did we find it tough for us to go and use our power a little faster, and so I don't know, Vegeta. And plus, I didn't have to go and try to fight Broly here on fusing with me either anyways, with Vegeta being shown standing on up by then shouting, "Alright now, I've had it with you, Kakarot. You and I are going to settle this right here, right now, you hear me? And so now hurry and swallow your food and stand up so I can knock some sense into that head of yours." Well, would you go and look at that, Lord Beerus? Whis went on to then laugh by responding, "It would seem as though they all seem to be getting along just fine, and dare I even say, are also about to get ready for another fight, and so aren't you excited to watch them go?" With Beerus responding, "Oh, I'm going to destroy them, Whis. I really am. them, cause I don't know on how much longer I can go and put up with their nonsense, especially here on my planet. And so I'm warning you now, Whis. You better go and get those apes off my planet and as far away from me as you can, because if they go and start fighting here again, then I'll be left with no other choice than to go and put an end to this myself, as it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of Goku Black's Resurrection manga chapter number 21 finale then comes to a close. Now, what an event, what a twist of fate in having the alternative story take place, and only to go as far as to have Goku Black inadvertently be resurrected courtesy of Android 17's wish, and having everything unfold the way it did. I really can't begin to thank you guys enough for sticking around throughout the entirety of this story, as I will go as far as to say that this is not over, as there will be a sequel in the near future, so be sure to keep your eyes and ears peeled out for whenever that's going to be taking place, as again, I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Thank you all so much for your time, to which, as always, if you also just so happen to be new to this channel and of course love Dragon Ball and anime, then I do encourage for you all to head on over and smash that subscribe button, on top of making sure to give this video a big fat thumbs up by smashing that like button down below. Tune back in for more, and with all that being said, I hope you guys had an incredible time as we're going on to the next one, so I'll be seeing each and every single one of you down in the comment section below and in the next video. Take it easy, guys, and have a great day. Peace.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unrelent Gaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi.
Silent Cell. Me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
It looks like someone's been doing their push-ups, sit-ups, and drinking plenty of juice. Why don't you and I do some private training?
OMG, I would so love to learn how to do the Kaioken.
You bet! I'll even show you my special power pole technique.
Goku, you are so rad. Dad, we're just going to train. Stop being weird.
The only thing weird here is Kakarot putting his hands on my baby girl!
Daddy, you have done this so many times. When Goten and I were hanging out, you overreacted like a total geek.
I want to take off your problem.
You bastard!
And when Yamcha offered me flowers, you knocked out his teeth.
Great!
Hello. You come around here often? Oh, wait, Vegeta, that's your... Oh my god. I flirted with a monkey. I almost committed bestiality. Ah! You're still a monkey.
Are you feeling angry, humiliated? Is that it? Fool! You don't know humiliation!
Less than 15 minutes are left till the end of the Tournament of Power. 5 universes have already been eliminated. The only ones who are still standing include Kefla from Universe 6, Topo, Dispo, Casserole, and Jiren from Universe 11, and of course, Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, Master Roshi, Android 17, and Gohan from Universe 7. Naturally, Universe 7 is winning considering how 6 of their fighters are still in the game, but will Kefla from Universe 6 and Jiren from Universe 11 allow that to happen? Now, that's a good question. The Battle Royale is going to continue with Kefla stomping on Gohan's torso and asking him if he's sure he doesn't want to transform into a Super Super Saiyan. Gohan responds by grabbing her legs and hitting her with a kick of his own and saying no thanks. He really doesn't need that Super Saiyan transformation. And why is that, Kefla asks. She was genuinely confused. Like, why intentionally nerf yourself at a time like this even? Just what was Gohan plotting here? Gohan would grin like a menace and explains that he's chosen to evolve as a human and not just a Saiyan. He was no longer gonna rely on his Saiyan blood. Might sound cheesy, but Piccolo was there to elaborate and mention how Gohan is actually far stronger now than he was during the Buu saga. The rest of the fights also continue, but it becomes very clear that the first one to end is gonna be Gohan versus Kefla. There was no other way to go about it. She had reached her limit, and now that we look, the same goes for Gohan. Both Kefla and Gohan know that their next move is probably gonna be their last. It was fun while it lasted, but it's over now. Or is it? So far, everything has been going exactly as it did in the original Dragon Ball Super manga, but right as Gohan and Kefla exchange their final blows, Whis brings up something interesting this time. I was intrigued by how strong and stable Kefla has been, but I guess it was too good to be true after all, he says. What do you want about Whis? Beerus asks. Piccolo, the Supreme Kai, and the rest of the gang are also curious. I mean, what is Whis talking about here? Lord Beerus, let me ask you a simple question. If you multiply a negative by a positive, what do you get? Whis asks. Negative, of course. I know basic math, Beerus replies. Everyone was still a bit confused. I mean, why wasn't Whis just getting straight to the point? Well, he tells them to stop looking at him and look at what's going on in the battle. In this what if, we're gonna do something absolutely crazy. What if Gohan had gone beast during the Tournament of Power? And it's all gonna start with this battle versus Kefla. So guys, if you haven't already, consider leaving a like on the video to help us out in the algorithm. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video as soon as they go live, because trust and believe, when Sparking Zero comes out, it's gonna be a movie over here. Even Frieza would flash a little smirk now that there was only one universe left for them to defeat, but then suddenly there was a green flash of light. Kefla fires a gigantic wave of energy from her mouth and reverses her own fall, and apparently she's gone completely insane because she also kicks Gohan back into the ring. Kefla seems to be under the influence of her own rage the same way Broly was during the movie, but now we're dealing with the legendary Super Saiyan fusion. Of course, Goku, Vegeta, and even Frieza are left completely stunned because, chronologically speaking, the Broly movie hasn't even happened yet. Yeah, they've seen Kale go berserk before, but overall, neither Goku nor Vegeta, or anybody else for that matter, has any idea just how dangerously strong Kefla is right now. For Beerus and the others, Whis' concern finally makes sense. He was concerned that Kale's negative factor may destabilize the Potara fusion and lead to unexpected consequences like this. For Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, even Jiren and everybody else, they were all aware that if nothing is done about this crazy berserker, then it's possible they could all be cooked. And as for Gohan, he was already pretty much done when he was falling out of the ring, but Kefla brought him back and he's now just getting brutally mauled by her. And of course, Frieza's weird ass suggests that maybe they just let her kill Gohan, that way it'll at least get her disqualified. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta attack Kefla from both angles. They were using Super Saiyan Blue, but the sheer friction caused by Kefla's blows was enough to push them away. But at this point in the manga, Goku has yet to unlock Ultra Instinct, so it's no wonder why he and Vegeta were being outclassed before they even got the chance to hit Kefla. At the same time, though, Whis comments that Kefla still may not even be at her best. Her power was continuing to increase at an exponential rate. There was no other way to go about it. 12 minutes were left until the tournament ends, and they have no choice but to draw it out. Just stall her by any means necessary. But of course, with time running low, Jiren wasn't gonna allow any of that. After Goku and Vegeta, Jiren is the next to try. As expected, his sheer presence counters Kefla's rage, and he manages to land a kick straight to her torso. This sends her flying away, and Gohan finally manages to get a moment to breathe. It was over for him though. Every bone and every organ in his body felt like it had been completely destroyed. Wrathful Kefla's assault on him was only about 20 seconds, but she inflicted enough damage that it probably isn't a stretch to say that Gohan could die any moment. Now Kefla would get up and grin and start laughing hysterically. Her laughter was so loud and brazen that it was shaking the very stage that they fought on. At this point, even the destroyers were beginning to become concerned about her rage, but the Grand Priest assured them that if she's still on her rampage after the tournament is over, then he'll personally subdue her. Kefla's roar and laughter would continue, and her wrathful Super Saiyan state completely transforms into the full power Super Saiyan transformation that we saw Broly use at the end of the movie. Right now, at this very instant, the strongest entity on the stage isn't Goku or Jiren. It was Kefla. Kefla from Universe 6. She was laughing when she finally spotted Jiren and recalls that he was the one who just kicked her. Without wasting a single second, Kefla blasts straight at her. She destroyed everything in her path with her energy and then went on to land a kick on Jiren next, who foolishly tried to block it. Fortunately, Toppo and Dispo foresee the fact that if this kick lands on Jiren, he's definitely, without a doubt, getting knocked out of the ring, but there still wasn't enough time to warn him. Still, they try to act. Kefla's kick lands, but Toppo and Dispo had already jumped in front of Jiren, and yes, they were the ones who take on the full weight of Kefla's kick, and the impact was unreal. One moment, they get kicked, and the next moment, they slam straight into Belmont. Everyone laughs at Belmont, but not as loudly as Kefla herself. She was unhinged at this point. Now, Casserole and Jiren are the only ones from Universe 11 left, so Casserole thinks it's a good idea to stay close to Jiren and watch his back. But he should probably start by watching his own back first, because when Kefla notices him approaching Jiren, she jumps, dashes straight towards him, and lands a super effective punch to the side of the head. Jiren would see this coming though. That's why right when she lands her punch, he appears behind her and tries to hit her with his big attack, Blazing Magnetron. And at the same time as when Jiren's punch lands, Master Roshi hits the both of them with his strongest Kamehameha he could muster, and when the dust settles, both Kefla and Jiren just look at Master Roshi, but little did they know that Roshi's Kamehameha was just a distraction. Universe 7 was setting up some teamwork here. It takes them all of like 2 seconds before they look the other way, and by that time, Frieza had already tossed a death ball their way. And this what if, this is how the ring ended up being destroyed, but as far as Jiren and Kefla are concerned, they both managed just fine. By skipping over the pieces of the ring that were still floating in the air, they make their way back to the main arena. Jiren notices Goku and Vegeta arguing about something, and 17 was helping Gohan get up, while Kefla was after Frieza and Roshi. The entire tournament was in chaos right now. In a last-ditch attempt, Frieza shields himself using Roshi, thinking that if Kefla kills the old guy, she'll automatically be disqualified, but Kefla simply smiles, appears behind him, and kicks the both of them out of the ring. At this point, only 10 minutes remain now until the end of the Tournament of Power. Universe 6 still has Kefla. Universe 11 has Jiren. And as for Universe 7, well, we have Goku, Vegeta, 17, and Gohan. It's not overly complicated. They just need to hold out for 10 more minutes and they win. But how are they gonna do that? Beerus grabs the Supreme Kai's earrings and throws them at Goku and Vegeta. He screams and tells them to hurry up and fuse right now, but as fate would have it, the sheer intensity of Kefla's energy is just too much, because as soon as the earrings make their way towards the arena, they just shatter. Goku would bring up the fusion dance, but Vegeta replies that if they mess that up, then it's truly over, so it's best not to even risk it. Whatever, I'll handle the Saiyan woman. You do something about Jiren, Kakarot. If we can somehow stall these two out for the next 10 minutes, we win, Vegeta declares, and he dashes right towards Kefla, but within seconds, gets sent flying right back towards Goku. I don't understand. When me and Kakarot used Vegito against Zamasu, we defused so fast. How can you still keep going? What's so different about your Saiyan blood, Vegeta asked. But Kefla was still berserk and all she could think about was fighting. It was an interesting question though. I mean, why hadn't Kefla defused yet? You see, the reason Vegito Blue defused so fast was because his final Kamehameha exerted way too much energy. But when it comes to Kefla, the unstable nature of her transformation is ironically what's keeping it all together right now. Kale's negative and Caulifla's positive are clinging to each other like Naruto and Sasuke kinda. And seeing as how there looks like there's no other option right now, Vegeta would instead use his final explosion on Kefla instead of Top. Intrigued and amused, Kefla responds with a gigantic full blast of her own, and the two energies collide and blow a massive hole through the arena. But even this was unable to stop Kefla. Vegeta is on his knees trying to get up when Kefla shows up in his face and just blasts him away with a simple flick to the forehead. Vegeta falls out of the ring from the same hole that was just created by them thanks to their explosions, but right before he's eliminated, Vegeta sends the very last of his energy to Gohan. It wasn't much, but enough for Gohan to stand on his own 2 feet again. Why, Vegeta? You should have sent that energy to Dad, Gohan says. No, Gohan, I'm afraid Vegeta has the right idea. The only one who can handle Kefla is you. You told me your goal is an ultimate transformation unlike anything anyone's ever seen before, right? Well, if there was ever a time for such a transformation, it's now. Come on, Gohan, do your thing. I'll handle Jiren somehow, Goku states. Of course, Gohan was skeptical. I mean, he could barely feel his legs at this point, but before he could even reply to Goku, the worst and most dramatic moment of the entire tournament happened. eyes. Right in front of his eyes, Kefla unleashes her strongest attack yet. This is the same attack that Broly used in the movie to absolutely devastate the glaciers. I think it was called Omega Blaster. The blast makes contact with Goku and causes a cataclysmic explosion. Even Jiren isn't sure if he could have handled that attack head on. Kefla's Omega Blaster was even stronger than Universe 7's Spirit Bomb, and no doubt about it, Goku was done for. It was truly over now. Gohan and 17 were the only ones left. But as Beerus is telling the Grand Priest that Kefla should be disqualified for killing Goku, everyone's attention is brought back to Gohan. After witnessing Goku's apparent death when he could have done something to stop it for a second time now, Gohan experienced pure, uncontrollable rage and inner turmoil, and just like that, he transforms. Gohan would unlock his true power here early, at a time when he needed it the most, in the middle of the Tournament of Power, in front of all of the gods of destruction, in front of all of the angels, and in front of the Grand Priest and Zeno. And thanks to that Omega Blaster that presumably killed Goku earlier, everyone, even Gohan, would now turn their attention to the crater. And out of the rubble, much like what happened with the Spirit Bomb, Goku's fight or flight has activated, destroyed his limits, and attained Ultra Instinct. And now, both Beast Gohan and Ultra Instinct Goku stand right next to each other in the Tournament of Power. And as promised, Beast Gohan plans to take care of Kefla, while Ultra Instinct Goku is all on his own against Jiren. There's officially now 7 minutes left until the end of the Tournament of Power, and 3 universes remaining. 17, Goku, Gohan, Jiren, and Kefla. These are all of our fighters still remaining. So if you guys want to see a part 2, so what if Gohan went beast in the Tournament of Power? Let's try to get this video to 2,500 likes. I know it took a little bit of a break for the past couple of days, but even though the Dragon Ball Super manga is on a hiatus this month, I have returned, fellas. Don't fret. So try to leave some what if ideas down below in the comments that you guys want me to attempt, and even some Dragon Ball games that we definitely got to revisit before Sparking Zero comes out, because let's be honest, we need some practice. I'm not trying to get scrubbed out day 1 in the gravity chamber.
Wait. What? So you're this massively powerful, half human, half alien super warrior.
I mean, saying that about myself feels a little conceited, but...
What I'm saying is, you can dodge bullets, much less any attack I throw at you.
Well, yeah, honestly. Why do you ask?
No reason.
Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom, on the floor. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the middle of the night, I'm gonna be there till the morning light. a place for you